Hello and welcome to a very special video. Today we're going to talk about the other half of the Warhammer 25 previews, mostly out of obligation and in between the endless chorus of my neighbor's freaking car alarm. So let's start off with the other characters. I don't remember if they were supposed to be in an expansion or I think you unlock them later in the game. It's the Force Prince, who I just don't care about. Nothing about the Centaur designs that they've pushed out or the. I don't know what they're trying to do with these guys has really grabbed me. I just think they look kind of awkward and dumb. And to me, this character does nothing for me. So, meh. And then we get the furry. Drash here of Horn, the rampaging beast, and he doesn't look cool or anything. He looks like that one orange guy, like a more feral version that would always be menacing Bugs Bunny. I don't like this design. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't know if it's the paint job or the weird posture he's in, but I just don't like this character. That's just me. He looks like a Viking furry on a like roid bender. I don't know. Do you guys like him? Then we get the Jade Wizard, who is okay, but I don't know. He's very much like a mix between a druid and a wizard, which in certain cultures, that's a wizard and a druid could be kind of the same thing. He's not bad. Out of the three, I like him probably the most, but I don't know. None of the designs for most of the heroes have really done it for me, so yeah. So let's move on to the bad man side, and we get Gilgus Pust. The names. Um, he's a member of the Blight King or the Blight Kings, the Blight Lord. I forget it. Whatever. The Nurgle faction for Age of Sigmar. He stays within the line, so he has the kind of portly armor. He's very round. He's got the like horns that kind of grow with the weird like growths kind of manner, and he's got a weird smile, which is kind of a Nurgle thing. I just don't like him. He's definitely been working on his left hand a lot. If you look at the model, I'm not too fussed about the model, but I'm also not really that taken with him. From a design perspective, he does stay within the Blight Lords. We'll go Blight Lords. I don't remember their actual name. Maggotkin? That might be it. Then we get Belga the Cyst Witch, because she's Caterpillar, effectively. She's definitely a witch. Wouldn't purchase the model, so there's that. Then we get Molgoth the Cleaver, who admittedly, out of them, is probably the one I like the most. He's got that kind of chaos and knight armor look. He's definitely been working on his left arm to make it into something. But overall, I don't mind him. He's definitely like one thing I'm going to note about all of them. They're all a lot less festooned with like pointless details, which is fine. But at the same time, they almost conflict with the overall look of a lot of Age of Sigmar, in my opinion. I do like this model the best. He's definitely consistent with the designs. You can see he's got the little eye holes that is very common. I do note that his art has these kind of sharp cheeks kind of designed into it, but the model completely lacks that. I wonder if they did the arts first and then designed it and made changes. Then we get a Shaman Foulhoof. It's fine. I'm really not a Beastman guy, so it's alright. He very much looks more in tune with a Nurgle Beast Lord from Old World, honestly. Let's move on to the canker boar. Oh, jeez. Wow. I'm trying to think of what to say. They're very odd. They almost look like they should be more champions within a plague bearer unit than their own things. They're okay. I do kind of like the moss kind of growths coming off the shoulders and some of the areas. Other than that, I mean, they're basically plague bearers. Then we get the Blight Templars, which I kept repeatedly trying to call Blight Knights. I'm gonna be that guy. I really don't like the Blight Lord's overall aesthetic of being these kind of round guys with very tiny arms and tiny heads and almost comically, cartoonishly small legs and feet. I'm not saying there's anything necessarily wrong if you like it, but for me, I'm not too excited about it. Originally, I thought these were just normal Blight Lords. They're okay. I do like some of the touches. I like the tree with some of the kind of Celtic little like plates hanging off it and the bells. They're not bad. It's just I'm not a fan of the aesthetic. Then we get Pox Wretches, which I don't under. I'm gonna be that guy. I don't know. Do we really need something like this? Because I'm assuming most of this is going to come over to Age of Sigmar. Do we really need a kind of chaffed unit of shield, or let's call them sword and board, even though I know they're not all using swords. I'm just using the term as an illustrative. They're not bad. I do like the consistency. They look like something that would fit within the army as kind of chaff. I do like the little swirl icon they're working in and the kind of Celtic touches that they're adding. I think that's fine. I'm just wondering if these are going to be like plague bearer replacements for chaff units. I wouldn't purchase them because I don't really collect this army, but I do think from a design perspective, they work pretty well. They'd also be great as plague cultist for some other games. Wink, wink. Then we get the Pestigores, which I actually quite like what they did with these ones more than the ones that they released later on. I'm going to be perfectly honest. They got they're consistent within what we'd expect for this faction. I do like that they got the military fork with the one guy. I like the weapon selection overall. I like their designs pretty well. They definitely are kind of pushing towards a kind of Celtic design, which I like, but it's not. I just don't like it combined with this faction. It wouldn't compel me to buy that, is what I'm saying. We get Mire Kelpies, which I just. They're thematic. I hope they don't come over to Age of Sigmar, because I just don't see them as anything in that beyond Nurglings with steps. Design wise, I like the kind of swampy aesthetic that they're going with. They're fine. Then we get a little release that shows the different boards. They're in a nice little book. Nothing new or amazing, because they're basically taking this from other companies. But it's a good thing to see in terms of making it a little bit easier to keep those maps in one place. I don't know about playability. That'd be a different thing. So, how do I feel overall about the releases, the rest of the releases for Warhammer Quest, Darkwater? To be perfectly honest, if I could purchase one or two of the models, like someone was just selling them randomly, I'd buy them for painting projects. But for me, I don't really like the hero characters overall. Like, none of them are really that amazing to me. And I don't really like the Blight Lords or the Age of Sigmar Nurgle aesthetic. I do kind of like that they're kind of pushing towards incorporating a kind of a Celtic element to them to kind of help give them a grounding. Oddly enough, I do think they're trying to create more of a grounded aesthetic within Age of Sigmar, which has been kind of catching me out because I'm like, oh well, this is the difference between it and Old World. They should really have more crossover so you could buy one unit that works in both, and it would get people to try both settings or potentially play both. But I'm not Games Workshop, I'm not that dumb. But the designs are consistent with what they're trying to achieve. I feel like they're testing out a more grounded aesthetic, and none of it is, in my opinion, terrible. But none of it grabs me and speaks to me in a way that makes me go, wow, I really want to buy that. And I'd assume that I'm somewhat within the target market because, one, I have a family, and it'd be a lot easier for me to get them to play a board game than a war game. Two, I like the grounded aesthetic of Old World. And three, I've collected Warhammer stuff. I'm within the miniatures hobby, which is what I call it. A wargaming hobby, painting hobby, all of that. But overall, I'm just kind of left cold with the whole thing. None of it has really latched onto me and been like, wow, that really would be quite amazing. There's a few things where I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I appreciate some of the design elements, and none of it is badly sculpted or produced. That doesn't mean that they won't have flaws, because I've heard things about some of the recent releases, but overall, I am not that taken with the whole thing, to be perfectly honest. I'd like to know, like, if you disagree with me, I hope that you can tell me how you feel if you've watched the whole thing. I'd love to hear other people's thoughts and opinions of it. Do you think it's going to be something worth you getting? Is something really grabbing you? Because I would love to hear what people, like, if people are really excited, I'd love to hear what you're excited about and why. If you're not that interested, I'd like to hear that. Hell, if you hate the whole thing, tell me. I would like to just know because I want to get a feeling for this thing. And man, right now, for myself, I'm looking at it and going, just before we even consider price, which I believe is probably going to be ridiculous, it's just not a set that's really moving me in one way or another. So let me know, guys, and you guys have a wonderful time. If we never meet again, you have a wonderful life. Bye-bye.